All right, it is time for today's Mad Author Spotlight. Let's try this for the third time. And I've got Mr. Epke Abioto in the studio. Grand rising to you, Mr. Epke.
Grand rising to you.
All right, and now is this is your book right here?
It is.
Don't touch that gun. Come on up close to the microphone. It's kind of radio, so
yes.
Microphone's kind of important. And we decided we're going to use that one.
This black one?
Yes, sir.
Always been on black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black on black.
That's what Wesley Snipes said in the movie. Right? Always been on black.
All right. And is this your only book?
That's my only book that I've written. I have a million books in my house.
Okay.
I'm not a bookworm. I'm a book snake.
All right, book snake. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Epke, and you're originally from Memphis, right?
I was born here, yes.
Yeah. We've had definitely conversations before, but I just don't want to be presumptuous and assume that everybody listening heard the last one. Right. So we'll just start from the beginning. And what high schools did you go to here in the city of Memphis?
I went to East High School. I graduated from East in 75. 50 years ago this year. I'm getting younger and younger.
Wow, I didn't even know they had schools back that long ago. You know what I'm talking about? You must have been one of the progenitors of the... Okay, I'm messing with you. Anyway, and then did you go to college, or what did you go out to high school?
I went to Shelby State and for 4 years.
Okay.
Studying music, theater and drama, and business.
Wow.
And then the college that I really went to, World Traveler.
School of Life, yeah. And you come from an illustrious family, though. Tell us a little about your family. You got a family that has kind of made history around here, right? Yeah,
well, I talk about some of that in the book, actually, because it's very important that we know our history and culture.
Okay.
So, just going back into history, my great-great-grandmother was born, she was born in Africa.
Okay.
She was kidnapped and brought here about 200 years ago. And then the rest, as they say, is history. My family were enslaved, like many of us as a people. And my grandfather lived in Haywood County. He was a Garveyite. He was a follower of Marcus Garvey. For those who do not know what a Garveyite is. And so, black history and culture is a part of it's a part of all of our DNA.
Yeah.
However, my family stressed us knowing about our history and culture so that we could be successful in life and understand who we were as a people.
And of course, music was your platform that took you all over the world. But were there other interests? I mean, like, did you ever play sports? Did you do anything else?
Yeah, I played sports. You know, we all played in the neighborhood, right? I went for basketball once, and I was in the band playing saxophone and flute. And you know how that ball hits your finger and stub your finger. So that was the end of my basketball career.
Wow.
I had to choose between basketball and music, so I chose music.
Wow, okay, I guess that works, especially for us, because now we get to hear this wonderful stuff that you put out. Let's see, and so then from there, when you decided that that music was going to be your platform, how did you decide to narrow down on what instrument? Because you have so many things that you play. What is your, like I'm seeing a flute here, but what is your instrument of choice?
Well, my brother brought a flute home. He was a musician. He played with Bobby Dubland, and we called him Montitos, and he played with the Temprees, and he was one of the Stax musicians as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, he brought a flute home one day. I must have been 12 or 13 years old. I said, well, that looks interesting. So he played a little bit of that because he was a clarinet player in band. He was a woodwind man, too, at Leicester High School. So anyway, that flute sounded interesting. So, I just started delving into it. And so as a result, I like to tell the children this. When I started playing flute, I go to daycare centers, to schools and everything, right? And when I tell them, I said, when I first started playing, I was really a great flute player. The first time I picked up the flute, I could not believe how great I sounded. So I just show them how great I was. So I go like... I said, that was great. Well, they said, no, that wasn't good at all. So I said, well, you got to do one thing. What do you do? How do you get better at something?
You got to practice.
Oh, so I told them, I said, I'll practice. They said, oh, that sounds a little bit better. And then we go into, I say, do you know this song? And so they know that song. They sing along with it as what's the name of that song, Michael? What was that?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
But then again, it's another song too.
All right.
And the same melody.
Yeah. All right. La, lee, la, la, la.
It has something to do with some alphabets.
Oh, A, B, C, D,
Same
F,
melody,
G.
okay?
Yeah.
So the children love that. So anyway, flute was my first instrument. Then I started playing saxophone, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was in the jazz band, marching band, concert band, all those different bands. And then we had a band called Exotic Movement.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first, you know, like R&B kind of, funk kind of soul band that I played in. Myself, Dwayne Thomas, Frank Black, Kirk Whalum, Blair Cunningham, James White, a lot of people in that group.
Wow.
Larry Williams. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that was my first band that I played in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I began to continue to learn music and learn history of music too as well, because I grew up in a household, going back to my household again.
Yeah.
My family was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the youngest of 14 in my family.
Mm.
7 girls and 7 boys.
Okay.
And as I said, we were very involved. My family got arrested during the Civil Rights Movement. All 7 of my sisters were arrested during the Civil Rights Movement. And, you know, people say, well, what were the brothers doing? Well, during the riots, we were throwing bricks. So we were running from the police. We weren't trying to just sit there and get arrested, okay? It was 2 different sides of the same coin, you might say, right? So we were, that's how the boys were involved. But we just didn't get arrested like that. We were marching too. Well, I didn't march until the last march after Dr. King was killed, when Coretta Scott King came. That was the only march that I participated in during that time.
Yeah.
My mother wouldn't let me go because I was too young.
Yeah. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we
Yes.
salute South Africa in April.
Yes.
Downtown. Are you performing at any of those festivities?
I am. Tomorrow, the parade starts at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be participating in the parade like I normally do. I've done since the last, I don't know, 86, how long count back? 86 years?
Yeah.
In 1986.
I think this is 38th.
Yeah,
annual.
38th year.
Yeah.
My daughter was born on April 19th.
Oh, wow.
1986, the year that my oldest daughter,
Yeah.
the year that African April started. So yeah, so I've been performing there since the very beginning, and then Saturday there's going to be a lot of performances, and my group Epke and African Jazz on something. You got to come in here African Jazz on something.
Okay. What time y'all playing?
We play at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
So you got to come out and hear that. And since this is South Africa, just going back in history too, I have a deep connection with South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been there, but some of the first African music that I heard came from South Africa. A woman by the name of Miriam Makeba.
Okay.
And also Hugh Masekela. We'll be doing Hugh Masekela's song, Grazing in the Grass. Some of you may know that song. Yeah. We'll be doing something. We'll be doing that tomorrow.
And I heard the Masekela lady, whoever you said.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Miriam Makeba.
Makeba, okay.
Miriam Makeba. Some people say Miriam Makeba, you know.
Yeah.
Apple, you know, tomatoes.
So y'all gonna be performing there tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll perform there. Well, not tomorrow.
I mean, I'm sorry, Saturday.
Saturday at 4 o'clock. Everybody come out. Bring the children out. So let me say this. It's very important that you bring children to cultural events. Because as we talk about this idea of violence in our city, we have to expose our children. That's why I do what I do, because I was exposed at an early age. You know, we had people like Stokely Carmichael coming to our house, right? You know, we call him Carmichael Ray now. You know, but you know, we ran into people like, well, my older family members, they marched with Dr. King, like on that March Against Fear down in Mississippi after James Meredith was shot. 10 of my brothers and sisters were in that march with Dr. King and Stokely Carmichael.
Okay.
But it's very important that our children learn culture, learn how to pick up an instrument. Don't touch a gun, touch a book, touch a musical instrument, touch a paintbrush, touch anything other than that, because that's deadly. So let me just tell you a story, Michael.
Hang on a second. Let me walk you into that story.
Yes.
Because again, we're here to talk about this book, Don't Touch That Gun. Which
Don't touch a gun.
Don't touch a gun, which you just alluded
don't
to.
Touch that one either. Same thing. Whatever. Don't touch that one. Don't touch that one. Don't touch that one. Don't touch any.
All right. What made you decide to write a book?
Well, in 1997, I was getting ready to do a performance for all of the Head Start children in Memphis and Shelby County.
Okay.
2,500 children, staff, and parents. And so when I was meeting with the director at the time, I had already written the song, I Am a Genius, call and response song, teaching the children to use their minds as they are geniuses, right? And so the director said, you know, someone should write a book about children, no, someone should do a song, rather, about teaching children not to not touch guns. Sometimes children pick up guns, shoot themselves, or shoot somebody else by accident. And I guess I was the someone in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told her, I said, by the time we do the performance, we were meeting in September. That was the meeting was in September. I said, by the time we do the performance in November, I'll have a song written. And that's how that song came about.
Wow.
At a request. And so I wrote the song.
The song Don't Touch the Gun?
Don't Touch a Gun.
Yeah.
I wrote it in 1997. And I started performing it all around the city and all around the country, as a matter of fact. I travel around the country doing performances. You know, L.A., New York, Chicago, you name it. I go around the country. Mississippi, Arkansas. Anyway, so that's how the song came about. And so when I did the music video in 2000, I had someone sitting, my mother, she was sitting there with a book with the cover of Don't Touch a Gun on it, like that part that you see in the front.
Mm-hmm.
In the inside of the book, that logo, that was on the front of the book, just as a mock book. And children were sitting around her reading the book. And so as a result, I said, you know what? I need to write a real book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the book came about.
And it said,
literacy is very important.
Yeah, it says this book is dedicated to all of the lives lost by guns and violence in homes, on our streets, in schools, houses, and worship, and all other places, from innocent children to our elders, also to those injured, as well as those families and communities that have been traumatized by guns and violence. Enough is enough. May their pain and suffering not be in vain. Our mission is to create the beloved community that Dr. King envisioned. Let's spread peace, love, harmony, and healing. And one 9-year-old said from Roselle Elementary, "This is a very good book. The right thing to do is don't touch a gun." They did the right thing and told an adult. Adults, teenagers, and children should read this book. The Don't Touch a Gun rap song also tells you what to do if you see and hear a gun. Wow. Okay, so you got testimonies in it and everything. All right. So now, how long did it take to put the words together, and how did you go about getting it published?
Well, it took me. I forgot exactly. You know, I know Kirk Whalum is one of the persons. He has a blurb in the book too.
Okay.
So I want you. I told because I'm talking about a lot of music history there too. As well. So anyway, he asked me one day, "How long did it take you?" I forgot. I'm thinking maybe 15 years. I'm thinking. I forgot exactly.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, had I known it was going to take this long when I first started, maybe I wouldn't have started.
Yeah.
But if you're determined to do something right, it doesn't matter how long it takes.
All right, so you got the words, and then looks like the graphics and the illustrations are pretty cool. How'd you go about that?
Ooh, I went through maybe 7 or 8 artists trying to find the right artist, and I finally settled on Darlene Newman.
Okay, is she in Memphis or
She's
she
right here in Memphis?
Oh,
She's I mean, I wanted the book to be visually attractive because the subject matter is so serious.
So
and she accomplished that mission. She made it look graphically illustrated. Great illustrations throughout the whole book.
now, is she still in the business, or she stopped doing
That's
it?
what she does. She does.
Oh, really?
She's an artist. You know, she's an actual artist.
All right, Darlene Newman. I'm showing her
she
name
does
right now on
for a living.
Facebook. Ekpe Abioto, Don't Touch a Gun is the title of the song. Title of the book.
And
the song as well.
Yes,
All right,
got
so
that.
on the Mad Author Spotlight, again, we like to talk about the book as well as the process that it took, because there are a lot of people out there listening.
Right.
And I know you wrote this a while back, and now artificial intelligence and a lot of other stuff is kind of taking place. But back for you, and I know this thing is pretty important. This, what is it called? Your scan code or something? ISBN. Yeah, that number. Did you do any of this yourself, or after you kind of got it, the words, you kind of handed it all to somebody? How'd you
I had a lot of people helping me along the way.
Okay.
I had my good friend Arthur Flowers, Levi Frazier Jr., Alice Faye Duncan. I have a lot of friends that are writers.
Okay.
So they walked with Patricia Lee.
Yeah, Patricia Lee.
They walked me through a lot of this process to get this done. So I have to give shout outs to those people. My good friend who passed away, Uriah Elion Jr. I had a lot of motivation along the way.
Okay.
James White. A lot of people helped me along the way with the editing.
Yeah. Did you have an editor, or just a lot of people looked at it?
Oh, I had several people helping me edit, because I know it's like this. The African proverb says sometimes that one head cannot exchange ideas with itself. So I had to get a lot of other people to help me with this writing process, editing. This is This is a work of several people, so
Okay.
I give them props in the book.
And it looks like you have a lot of Memphis references. Here's reference to Ida B. Wells' Freedom School, or are these like real locations, or are these just fictitious places in the book?
It's a combination of both. There is an Ida B. Wells alternative school in here.
Okay.
But I just call it a freedom school because Ida B. Wells was all about freedom. So some names I give, I kind of embellished a little bit, took a little creative license, but a lot of places in there are actually true.
Yeah.
Stax Museum, Slave Haven, National Civil Rights Museum, Claiborne Temple, where I did that performance with all those children back in '97.
Yep.
So I have a lot. I feature Memphis history and Memphis artists in there because you need to know the place where you live.
Yeah. This probably is the apex of the book, but you got a pledge in here. Now, is this an actual pledge, or is this just some poetic gesture?
No, it's a pledge. When I do performances in the school, that's right. You were there when we did. We were over at Cummings School after the school shooting.
Cummings KA, yeah.
Yes, and I have children to do the pledge. Take a pledge not to touch a gun.
Wow.
Yes.
And does this seem pretty powerful? I mean,
look, it's so powerful. Like you see the young boy who wrote about reading the book.
Yeah, yeah.
He loved the book. This was a 9-year-old who read the book and loved it. I go to schools and do, it's about the music. See, the music is the hook line.
Mm-hmm.
See, we have to understand how powerful music is.
Yeah.
There's an African proverb. I study African music and history, so
Okay.
I talk about these African proverbs. One proverb says, and it's right, I put it on the back of the book, it says, music has the power to heal or kill.
Mm.
So you can know people by the music that they listen to also.
Yeah.
You can know know people by the music that they perform and what they play. So, Earth, Wind, and Fire, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
All positive, good music. Shining star, no matter who you are. Shining bright to see what you can truly be.
Mm-hmm.
Not this dumb stuff. I got to call it like it is. I had never heard this song before. And some people were texting me. I'm going to tell you straight. I got to tell you straight, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were texting me on the night that the mayor won. And they were texting me, they said, why is he playing that song, Who Run It? Because they know I know black culture and music and what words mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to that song, I'm like, what in the world? It's got a parental vibes on it. And I can't even say the things that are on that song. I'm like, why would he be playing that song? He should be playing That's the Way of the World. Or Shining Star.
Well, I'm sure he probably
Anyway,
had his reasons.
I have to just say that
Yeah,
because let me tell you what got to me, and I was going to tell you this. See, that's why this book is so important. The plan is to start a Don't Touch a Gun book club for Memphis.
Okay.
In a book club, you read the book and you discuss what's in the book, and you learn along the way. Everybody learns collectively, collective work and responsibility. That's one of the principles of Kwanzaa. Ujima. Collective work and response. We all need to take responsibility. Nobody told me to write. I didn't have to write this song. I didn't have to write this book. I'm just a humble musician that loves to play music and travel around the world doing what I do. I didn't have to do this. But I came up in an environment, as you see, my people were heavily involved in the story. They didn't have to do it. So it was put in me as a young child, when you see something that's all bent out of shape, try to straighten it up. Not try, but straighten it up. So that's what this book is about, straighten up. So last Friday, I was called to play at this daycare center, Elite Child Care Center. It's Cynthia Smalls, great woman, great daycare center. I went there last Friday. I had been there before, so it's African April. So I went there to perform. They had that little African attire on. It's on Facebook. I have to post it repost it. And she had on that African attire. We had a great time. I was playing where's my kalimba? I was playing my kalimba. And I was playing my flute like I did earlier. And we were having a beautiful time. These were like toddlers and 2 and 3 and 4-year-old preschoolers, right? We were having a beautiful time. I was on such a natural high. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do no drugs and stuff. I was on such a natural high from those beautiful little children having a beautiful time. I was just on a natural high, Michael. And my high was blown last Friday. when I turned on the news and saw that a 2-year-old had been shot and killed in Orange Mound. And I had just been with some little 2 and 3-year-old children that morning. Mike, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. That messed me up.
You know,
I ain't gonna lie. That messed me up.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, not just, of course, that would probably affect anybody, but I saw a post about some lady and her 3 kids had been homeless and they were sleeping out front of something. And the post writer was talking about how we continue to turn a blind eye and to turn a blind ear. And sometimes, you know, it's easy to kind of to turn your face, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you got your own problems, your own struggles, and
Yeah.
oftentimes we don't have the empathy or the capacity to reach out and kind of feel that, but we just got to do that. So at this time, I'm looking at the pledge. It says, I, say Michael Davis, pledge to don't touch a gun. I'm not going to read all of it because we want you guys to buy the book. But I pledge that if I see a gun, I will run and tell my parents, my grandparents, or another grown-up. I pledge that if I see a gun in my house or in a relative's house, I will not touch it. And then it goes on to kind of make this declaration because, you know, kids can only be basically as safe as the parents and the guardians allow them to be.
Yes.
And so when we do our part, it makes it better for everybody. But even if those safeguards aren't there, even if the gun is out and it's not locked in a locked box and all those things, if we've already indoctrinated our children into how to handle these things, then maybe we'll have a little better outcomes on these things. Where can they find this book?
They can find this book. My information is go to my website is getting back up now. The person that was doing my website before died, so I had to redo it. So
Okay.
My website is ekpemusic.com, ekpemusic.com. And I don't mind giving my telephone number out.
Yeah, go ahead.
901-237-8359. You can reach me directly, and my email is ekpe@bellsouth.net, ekpe@bellsouth.net. And if you come to Africa in April, Saturday, I'm going to have these books.
Okay, good.
I'm going to have the book. And look, Black on Black Love.
Sure. Okay.
See, listen, if we love each other, look, we have to love.
Yeah. You know, sometimes people call the Prince of Gospel. Sometimes they call the Queen of the South and that kind of thing. For you in this African instrumentation and you being anything that's African or of the diaspora, you can expect to see Epke there. What name would we give you as the, you know what I mean? You know, like the King of Bill or the King of Rock and Roll, or you know what I'm saying? What would we say? Maybe I should think of that. So you shouldn't think of that for yourself. I'm gonna think of a good name.
Let me put it let me go back to the African perspective.
Okay.
There's this term called griot, which is really, some of us know that, oral historian musician, but there's also called jelly.
Okay.
Jelly is the oral historian musician, and he uses there's this form of music in Africa called kebetu.
Okay.
And kebetu is the original rap. Spoken word set to music.
Yeah.
And so they teach history, culture. That's how Alex Saylor found about his people from the jelly in West Africa, because he was telling the story, the lineage of the people.
Well, I was saying they told me to keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, huh?
Keep it to. But that's what. So anyway, I'm in that jelly.
So you're
tradition.
a jelly. All right.
I'm in that tradition of keeping the history and culture alive.
Memphis Culture King.
I call myself a cultural enrichment specialist.
Okay,
Cultural enrichment specialist. That's what I specialize.
That still ain't good enough. I'm gonna think of something though, Epke, because you had talked to food chain.
I gotta think. I gotta think of something for you then.
Yeah, see that.
Okay, so there we go. There's one good one that said one turn. You know.
Yeah. So the book is available wherever fine books are sold, or you can buy it from him out the trunk. So holler at Epke.
Out the trunk, out the house.
Get at it.
Okay, my first book signing I had on the 29th of last month.
Okay.
It was at the Cosset Library. Let me tell you why I chose the Cosset Library.
Okay.
Because this year we celebrated 65 years, and I talk about it in the book. We celebrated 65 years of the sit-ins in Memphis when students from Lemoyne and Owen College were arrested for going to the Cosset Library and to the main library on Peabody, which is no longer there. And my sister was one of those.
Did you say Lemoyne and Owen?
Yeah, at that time they were not together.
This dude that went. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's right. it was S.A. Owen Junior College.
Yeah.
But the two colleges came together. That's why it's Lamont Owen. So that's why I studied this history. I love history.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I got a D in history. I hated history.
Because you didn't understand the
I
power
didn't understand the power of it.
Yeah,
It was probably because I was going to class.
But I'm the same.
Anyway,
I'm the same way though.
I love history now.
Yeah, I'm the same way though. As I got older, I began to, and I consider myself a polymath. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of the subjects that didn't interest me in high school or college or whatever. Now, man, I can't stop. Delving into them. All right, so that's what's up. And so this book is available. You wrote it. You got a editor that from a group of people that helped you.
Yeah.
Then you sent it off, and you.
Francis Barnes helped me.
Where did you get it bound and published?
Let me say this.
Okay.
Several people helped me. Graphics and more. Darrell Wells and his staff.
Okay. Yeah.
So they helped me immensely put it together. And I wanted to, let me just say this. I try to keep it black. Let me just be straight, unapologetically. Unapologetically.
I got
slow myself down. I'm trying to talk fast like you.
Stop it.
I've been slowing down a little bit. So I wanted to keep it black because black business, we need black businesses.
Yeah.
Did you know that the city, I know the county does less than 1% business with black people in Memphis?
Mm-hmm.
And the city that I was told was around the same thing. So I try to boost black businesses. Tri-State Defender.
Yeah.
I try to boost black businesses.
Yeah.
Because when you have black businesses, you have the ecosystem of a better community. So anyway, A1 Printing.
Okay.
I was going outside of Memphis. I was going up into Maryland to Tony Hossie Coates' father's place up in Maryland. He was going to print it. But I found out about this man named Frazier Winders. And A1 Printing. So he did the book for me.
All right.
He did the final printing of this book for me.
Yeah. All right, that's what's up. So now we've got it from start to cover, and we know a little more of the steps to kind of get it done. Now it's just a matter of the promoting, and of course, because you're always out everywhere, and there's a song to go with it, it makes it a little easier for you.
Don't touch a gun. That's the call and response. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Repeat out to me. Don't touch a gun.
Don't touch a gun.
Never touch a gun.
Never touch a gun.
If you see a gun, you know you better run. Don't pick it up.
Don't pick it up.
Tell a grown up. Don't touch a gun.
Don't touch a gun.
Never touch a gun. Now let me tell you a story, Michael. I did
Never touch a gun. Yeah. I'm gonna get put out
in schools. Let me tell you some stories about how. See, music is powerful. That's why you got to be careful what you let your children listen to. Not just ignorant stuff, saying bad things about women and killing and stuff. It's time out for that. How are we going to be doing it to ourselves and the Ku Klux Klan trying to kill us too? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's messed up. So anyway, let me tell you a story about when I go and do this performance in the I Am a Genius performance. That's one of the songs, Don't Touch a Gun. So I go to these schools and these elementary schools, third grade. Let me just say this too. Between third and fifth grade, the literacy rate in Memphis is less than 25%. For third to fifth grade readers. Less than 25%. So this book promotes literacy. So anyway, when I go and do this performance at the schools, Don't Touch a Gun, and I show the children the book. I show the children the book. At the time, I did not have it all the way. I was just showing them a sample. And they said, we want that book. We want that book. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to find out. Both of the mayors said they want to help stop crime, right? I'm going to tell you all, if I had the capacity, I would give all you books myself, but I ain't that rich yet. But the mayors said they want to stop violence and crime. So when I talk to them, I'm going to tell them you all want books, since they say they want to stop violence and crime, right? And promote literacy.
And then that should help.
And so that should do it. I said, I'm going to tell them that's what you all want. So I was at this one school, and I had that one book. This one little boy said, Mr. Epke, let me have that book right there. The rest of them, they can get theirs later.
Self-perseverance.
Self-perseverance.
All
right. So, it's the power of the arts.
Yeah, it is powerful. And then again, for those who are just joining us, I'm talking with Epke Abioto as we wrap this up. He's going to be out in the parade tomorrow at 10. And then, of course, his own group is going to be performing at 4 o'clock at Africa in April on the main stage, I would imagine.
Yes,
So
main
get by
stage
and be a part of that. And you gave us a phone number, how they can find you.
Yeah, you can reach me directly for Black Love workshops. You see the T-shirt, Black Love. You know, one of in the lyrics of the song, it says, "Love your mother, love your father, love your sister, love your brother." I heard the other day there was a brother that shot and killed his own brother the other day. But we gotta love ourselves.
Yes,
See, black in the day. Let me just say it like it is. Black in the day. Y'all heard me right. We did not have this shooting and killing. It were things that we had to do in our communities. You know, as I said, music, sports, all kinds of things. So we got to get black to that. That's how we're going to save our children's lives.
That's what's up.
And the music, black music tells our story. I talk about how we use the spirituals in the book to escape from slavery, how we use African drums to escape from slavery, how we communicated with our instruments. So this book is for a whole family to learn. For anybody who wants to learn and uplift their community, that's what this book. So that's why I've been reaching out to the mayors and like, we got to do this thing.
That's what's up.
So I heard him say the other day, enough is enough. I heard the mayor say that. So I'm already saying this in the book. So if you want to get something done, get at a brother.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Epke Abioto. Any final shouts out you want to give to anybody?
I want to give shout outs to the families who lost loved ones. And I'm going to do everything that I can do as I've been doing. I came up in a family of love. As I said, I was the 14th child of my family. The last of all 7 girls and 7 boys. I want to send love out. And I want to reach out to the mayors, the county commissioners, the city council, those of you who are in places of influence that say you want to do something.
Let's make it happen.
Don't act like you don't know. You know me, and you see this. Every child, every household should have this book.
All right.
Thank you all very much.
Well,
Thank you, Michael.
The book is available in stores. Make sure you get a copy 3 ways: quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's the end of Mad's Author Spotlight with Epke Abioto. Thank you guys so much for being a part. 88.5 FM. All right, we're still on Facebook. The books are, how much does it cost? $20. $20. You can get these. And that phone number one more time, Epke.
901-237-8359. And when you come to African April, I'll be autographing these books.
Oh, that's what's up. Did you sign this one for me?
Not yet.
Well, you got something. You signed it for somebody. Ooh. It's a signature right there.
Oh, that's my signature.
That's just in the book already.
That's just in the book.
Oh, okay. That was printed in there.
But I'm going to sign it to you.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, look, thank you guys so very much, and I'll see you guys on the radio tomorrow for Good Friday. I'm gonna try to sneak in here because the school system is closed on, when they close. I'm trying to sneak in here and give you at least an hour. So keep your radios right here, 88.5. Bye bye.